welcome back to Keeping Up with Chyna. Today we're back with another video. If you're new, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, and thank you guys so much for coming back and watching another video. Today I'm going to be talking about 10 reasons why your locks break off. You guys, my eyelashes right here is tweaking. Don't even, okay, don't worry about that. But anyways guys, I have some notes on my notebook right here, so I'm going to be reading them off of my notebook, so you guys don't mind me at all, okay? I'm not going like in order of like, you know, how important they are. I'm just throwing them out there. So okay, so number one is picking out lint with a tweezer. I remember I used to be obsessed with like picking out lint of my locks. Like I used to sit there and just pick at my lock. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with doing that. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you picking out lint with your tweezer, but if you're like digging in your locks, you're creating holes in your locks. So like over time, like if you're constantly doing it over time, you know, you will see like the holes. You will see how it becomes very weak and it starts to thin out. Like a perfect example I would say is like right here. You guys see how like right here, right there, you see how like it's so weak and like I can like bend it and stuff. It's very weak right there at that little part right there, you know? So like, you know, if you're constantly just, you know, creating these little holes in your locks, it's gonna become weak, and then eventually, you know, it will thin out really bad, you guys. And you will not see it. Like, you know, that's the thing with locks. It's like we will tell you guys these things, or we, you know, tell you guys all these things, you know, just to prevent them, because a lot of these things, they happen like years from now, like, you know, from like, you know, 5 years from now, 8 years from now, you know. Right now, if you're doing them right now, you probably are not going to see like, you know, a really big difference. And that's why we, you know, continue to do them, because we don't see like a huge difference. But over time, if you're doing it over time, over the years, you will start seeing, you know, these changes. So that's why, you know, we try to prevent these things from happening, because we want to have long, beautiful locks over time, not weak, unhealthy locks. Okay, so number two is bleaching. And with bleaching, you guys, honestly, if you can avoid bleaching, I would say avoid bleaching altogether, you guys, because bleaching in general is not good for the hair in general. Even if you're like loose natural, it's not good for the hair at all. So because it really just damages the hair. Like it damages your natural hair color. It damages what makes up you know, the natural hair. So like, you know, that's chemicals that's being, you know, being put in your hair, you know, processing your hair. So of course it does, you know, damage it, you know, in some ways. And if you're doing it constantly, if you're doing it like, you know, every couple of months, or, you know, if you're always bleaching it, you guys, it will damage your hair over time. So, and even if you do decide to like bleach it, I would say, you know, go to like a professional. If you don't know anything about bleaching and you're not comfortable or confident in doing it, I would definitely say go to a professional. And if you cannot go to a professional, just, you know, make sure when you're doing it, you kind of like, you know, watch videos, like good videos to show you how to do it. And really, when you're putting the bleach, try to do it like more on the surface of the hair. Don't like rub it in there. Like don't like make it go all the way. And that's why like another a reason why I don't use conditioner too much. Like if you put it in there, if you like really get it in there, it's basically stuck. It's gonna get stuck. Because I mean, yes, you can wash it out, but you can only wash out so much, especially if it gets in the hair, gets trapped inside the lock. You can only, you know, rinse out so much. Like, so there's gonna always be a little bit left inside of the locks, you know. So, and over time, it, you know, it does damage the inside of the lock. Just be careful if you decide to bleach your hair. I bleached my hair in the beginning of my lock journey. I don't regret it. I mean, I didn't really have too much problem with it. Would I do it again? I don't think I would. I educate myself more, so I know a little bit more about locks and stuff like that. So would I do it again? I don't think I would. But I'm not saying I would never do it, but I wouldn't really want to do it, just because of, you know, because I want to prevent my hair from, you know, thinning or anything crazy in the future, because I want to have my locks long term and stuff like that. Number 3 is retwisting too often. You guys know you're not supposed to be retwisting. So I mean, okay, I know a lot of people, I know different people have the different routines and how many often that they retwist their hair, and which is fine, because you know sometimes, you know, whatever you do works for you. It's working, so that's fine. But I would say that, like, for the people who retwist their hair like every week, honestly, I don't know, because when you're retwisting the hair, you're retwisting it, like you're trying to make it tighter, and it gives you like that skinny look, you know, that little slick look, you know. Retwisting is like a maintenance thing, you know. You're not supposed to be like, you know, retwisting it all the time. You're supposed to be retwisting it, like, you know, for example, if you're going on a trip, or you know, you got a wedding you're going to, or for me, I retwist my hair every, like, what, 4 to 6 weeks. Like sometimes I go a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, like 3 weeks. I never go less than 3 weeks. I've never, well, not never, but I don't remember the last time I retwisted my hair less than 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks was the minimum I've ever retwisted my hair, because I always just like my hair to like break, because I like to see my new growths. I like to, like, you know, feel on there, feel my hair texture, you know, just to see them, you know. So I don't really retwist my hair. And when you don't retwist too often, like you let your hair, you know, really, you know, like the roots really, you know, poof out and actually get stronger, you know, so that you're not putting too much tension in your locks, in your roots too, which is really, really important. Number 4 is washing your hair. I know a lot of people, when it comes to washing their hair, especially in the starter phase, people are scared to wash their hair. You guys, wash your hair. And I'm not saying wash your hair every day, but if that works for you, do it. But wash your hair. It's okay, because your hair, like hair and especially locks, they love water. It loves water, because if you're trying to grow healthy, beautiful locks, you gotta wash your locks, you guys. You gotta wash it. For me, I wash it like every, what, 3 weeks or so, 3 or 4 weeks. I try not to go too long, like no more than 4 weeks, because, you know, then it starts to get like really dry and it gets itchy and all that stuff. So I try to not go past 4 weeks, but definitely wash your hair, you guys. I'm actually trying to wash it more often, because I realize my hair loves water, like loves water. When I wash my hair, it just looks so nice, so good, like your roof poof out. It just looks so clean. Like, you guys, your hair loves water, so make sure you guys wash your hair, even if that's like every 3 days, every 5 days, every week, whatever you think is best for your hair. Wash it, because your hair loves water. Number 5 is the age of your lock. Not recently, but I know that I realized that my hair is starting to thin a little bit, and I'm not like saying that the thinning as in, like, you know, my hair is about to like break off or anything. No, I'm saying because my hair is currently 4 years old now, so how they started, it doesn't look the same, as in, like, you know, like the form of my locks. You see how, like, over here it's a little bit thicker, and then over here, like, you know, it's just like from right here to right here, it's like it's a little thinner, you know. And it's like my hair overall, like the whole length of it, like all of this, it looks thinner, because as your hair grow longer, it does combine even more, and it have like a more slender look to it, like a more skinnier look to it, which is, I mean, at first it was a little alarming to me. I'm like, I don't want to have, like, you know, thin locks, but my hair is still doing fine. It's still pretty thick, I would say. And, you know, because my roots, which is really, really important, are still very thick and stuff like that, you know, that's good. Because if you have a very weak root and stuff like that, you guys, eventually it will break, you know. So I would say don't be too alarming. Like if you do see that your hair do get a little skinnier as your hair, you know, grow in age. But if you're like 2 years in the game and your hair is like thinning out and it's like 1 year, 2 years, and you're like worried like your hair is either thinning out or breaking, something is off. Something is not right. Something is wrong. Okay, so look into that, you guys. Number 6 is also coloring. Coloring, I would say, goes kind of hand in hand, but bleaching is worse, in my opinion. But coloring can also be as bad too if you're doing it, you know, too often too. If you're coloring your hair, because you're still putting chemicals into your locks. So, and especially if you're like, you know, putting it all the way in, like it will eventually, you know, make your hair, you know, thinner. So the same concept go with bleaching. I mean, it's just that bleaching, you know, I think I don't quote me on that, but I feel like bleaching is stronger. So I would definitely say if you're coloring your hair, make sure you're doing it professionally, or, you know, make sure that you're doing it the right way so that you can avoid, you know, thinning and stuff like that. Okay, the next one will be wringling when drying or washing your hair. And if you guys, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but if you guys know what that is, it's like when you're washing or when you're drying your hair, like people do this, like pull, like you're pulling your hair. If you're pulling your hair all the time, like over time, it's gonna become weak, it's gonna break, you guys. So when you're washing or like drying your hair, just, you know, just do this, you know, just pat or just do it very nice and gentle. Don't be too rough, like, and don't be pulling on it all the time, you guys, because yes, you're doing that right now and you don't see any visible damage, but over time, if you're doing something over and over and over again for years, eventually, like, you know, with everything else, you know, that's going on with your hair that you're doing, that can cause some damage, that can add to the damage, you know, to your hair potentially. The next one will be tying your hair at night. Of course, you guys know I've talked about this before. You know, when you're going to sleep, make sure that, you know, your hair is wrapped up, you know, make sure it's away, you know, because you don't want to be sleeping, especially if you don't have any silk pillowcases and you're just sleeping on, you know, a non-silk pillow, and you have no covering on your hair, like it's just literally just rubbing against the pillow. It makes your hair very dry, it breaks it. That's why a lot of people, you know, like you'll wake up, you see all these hair on the pillow breakage, you know, and over time, if that's happening over time, you're gonna really start seeing, you know, those, you know, thinning parts or weak parts in your locks, you know. So make sure when you're going to sleep, I preferably like to use my silk bonnet. I wrap it up with like a really like a silk or satin hair wrap, and after I put my bonnet, like the excess hair that's out, I just put my bonnet in so that it's not like out. I'm sorry, yeah. And then I try to always have a satin or a silk pillowcase. If I'm not, it's okay, because I have my silk head wrap and bonnet on, so it's like extra protection at night. So I always try to make sure every night I make sure I put my hair away. And you guys, that's very, very important over time. The next one is styling your hair too much. You guys know I like to style my hair, you guys. I like to style my hair, but you guys will also see that a lot of the time I just have my hair down. Like honestly, a lot of time I just get up and go. Like I just be up and I'm going, because it's like your hair, we have locks because it's supposed to be low maintenance. We're supposed to just, you know, it's supposed to be like a get up and go hairstyle, you know. And like your hair don't have to be all sleeked up and styled all the time. It doesn't. Like sometimes it's okay to just, you know, let the naps be, you know, just do your edges. And that's another thing too. Don't be doing your edges so much that, like, you know, don't be pulling on them all the time to the point where, like, you know, they break off. Like some days I just get up and go, like my roots, my edges not done. It's okay, because sometimes you gotta let them breathe. You gotta let them just do their thing, because if you're constantly pulling and you know, or doing like ponytails or, you know, twists or braids, all that stuff, like those things causes tension to your hair. And I'm not saying not to do them, but don't do them often. Like space them out, you know, like 1 week, you know, rock your hair down without doing anything with them. Then next week, you know, do a style, you know, like a very low tension too. Like when you're styling, just be mindful of, you know, don't put too much tension in your leg. I already don't like tight things. Like if it feels tight, I'm gonna loosen it up a little bit, because I don't like tension. Like I don't like the tension because it makes my head hurt. So I don't try to like every time I do these styles, I make sure that if it feels tight, I open them a little bit, I get them a little loose so that it's not too tight. So you can style them, but just, you know, space them out so that you're not always styling your hair, because over time you will see those results, which is not good. And then the last one is the foundation of your lock. Another reason why, the last reason why your lock can break is the foundation of your lock. You probably didn't start your locks correctly. If you're like only like 1 year in and you're already, you know, experiencing thinning or breakage, then that comes to show that, you know, you probably did not have a strong base. You did not have a strong foundation of your locks, because if you're only a year in, your hair is still technically still in the starter lock phase, and that's where like your hair is going through the process of, you know, poofing out. What's the word? I forgot the word, budding and stuff like that. If it's like budding and your hair is thinning out, then something is going on, like something is that it's not right. So make sure when you're starting your locks that you know what you're doing, or if you don't know what you're doing, make sure you do your research, or make sure you go to professionals so that they actually, you know, do them right, you know, so that, you know, because a strong foundation is key. And I know me, I'm not saying my locks are perfect, because I started, me and my sister started them, and I honestly did not know as much as I know now when I started my locks. And if I knew a lot of those things, I would have done a lot of things differently. But I mean, now that I know, you know, I just try to, you know, put those things into practice so that, you know, over time, you know, my hair doesn't get weak and break, because I don't want that. I want to have my locks for years and years and years, and I want them to grow beautiful and healthy and stuff like that. So yeah guys, so those are all the tips to, you know, on why people's locks break and stuff like that. But anyways, I can make more videos if you guys are interested, but let me know down below if you guys, you know, agree with these tips, or if you guys have any other tips that you guys think you can add to this video if I didn't mention. But yeah guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry this video is really long. I talk so much, you guys, I'm sorry, but thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye guys.